So I think I'm gonna do that on my Friday instead of staying in. It's sad to say, but I don't get invited to stuff often. I know. Uh, quite frankly, getting invited to stuff is a young man's game. And I'm not a young man anymore, so I do a lot of staying home and watching TV and guitaring and that kind of thing. I'm watching a guy, Sean Daniels, live stream right now. He's one of the guys that I watch who teaches. Hey, let it be. Good to see you. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Uh, so if my nephew calls me, I think I'm gonna go with him down to the beach. But I was just watching, like I said, Sean here.
Also, I told myself I was gonna try.
Excuse me, Sean's live stream. He's a guitar player, teacher, YouTube guitar teacher, and they send him a guitar, and then he'll unbox it on YouTube. It serves as content, and then he'll play. And he's been playing for about 2 hours, and it's amazing because people are going, "Hey, play this," and he'll go, "Oh, okay, I know that song," and he'll kind of pull the chorus out of his head because he remembers how it sounds, and you're like, "Wow, that's musicianship." He's self-taught. So it's amazing to watch him. Uh, he said he started playing in high school, so he's not much older than 30 if he's anything, right? So I'm gonna say that's 10, 12 years. Just amazing. Uh, yeah. So for the last 2 hours, people been calling out stuff. He just played the standards. What a wonderful world, right? Because you know it, I know it. Hey, William, good to see you. Hope you're having a good Friday. Uh, and he just knows 1,000 songs.
And it's breaking my heart, you're leaving. Baby, I'm leaving. But
Yeah, so he's just kind of like, oh, what is the chorus of that? Da 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 da. That's 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 what I'm chasing. I want to be able to pick up a guitar and someone go, oh, do you know this song? And if I know it, I'm familiar enough with how music works to go, ooh, I think I know that. Yeah, well, let's. How does that go? And hammer it out like he's doing. But he's the guy who apparently just knows a trillion songs, and he's a teacher. No, he's not on Hap. Sean Daniels. No, he's not. He's on YouTube. 407,000 followers on YouTube. It's funny. Yesterday I tried to end the stream and I couldn't. So I was hitting end, and I started laughing. But when I looked, it had cut where I had originally ended, and it had ended early on YouTube. This whole restream was crazy. I think we're really gonna try and sort of fix our stream game. It's really important. But you know, the stream game is secondary. Remember, the primary thing here is
driving you by, step on the smile.
um yeah, he just talks about like walks from C to E, right? Open, what was it? E, B, no, it was, what was I doing? That's the E string. It was G, C, D, right? Because those are all in the same chords, right? And then you hit the chord. Anyway, forget it. I can't even explain it. But it's just,
That's just from memory of how those chords go, but trying my best. Anyway, it's good stuff.
yeah, it's amazing. Uh, whoo, it is amazing. 2 hours of just like pulling songs out of your head. It's amazing. Excuse me. I should cut on more lights. Should I cut on more lights? I do this because I live alone, so I was silent all day, and once you begin to speak, all those muscles have to begin to move again, and they make you yawn. Stanford soccer goaltender was facing disciplinary action, so she killed herself. What was she facing disciplinary action for God's sakes? And this is the thing, like you get a healthy 20-year-old athlete that dies, and everybody has a million questions. Cause I mean, it's rare that young people die, but it happens. So you may go like we said, oh man, so and so had an aneurysm. While she was young and in her prime, is horrible. Sometimes it's accidents. Sadly, sometimes it's open murder. Yeah, no. Okay, so he's done. All right. Let's shrink this down. Let's close this. Uh, yeah, it's priorities, right? This is the thing. I said this before. I've met a lot of college people who had educations who were squishy, like just kind of like they weren't durable, right? They had existed in a sheltered space, and then all of a sudden, they don't do well outside of that because everybody isn't a cheerleader for them, right? You get some of that, and some of that also in extreme cases bleeds to like irrational thinking, right? People who go, I can't get a B in chemistry. Oh my God, I'm a grade point average. I can't take, and then go kill themselves. You sit then you go, what? Because they went down this rabbit hole of, and they've been taught that too, right? You've heard, not everybody has the same, but a lot of people have been taught this, right? And so they're on this kind of like pace, and one screw up undoes you. It's like that. Remember the baseball player? What is his name? I think he played for the Cardinals, right? Well, he had a. It wasn't Bird. It wasn't Cannon. He had a name that was like a noun. It wasn't Bird. It wasn't Cannon. It wasn't Rose. It was anyway. Um, he was rookie, right? Uh, rookie of the kind of like rookie of the year. He was like everybody wanted him to, and then he comes out and he's a star in his small town in his state, and everybody loved him. Then he joins the major leagues away from mom and dad. He becomes a drug addict in his first season. What was that guy's name? And then he had to have like a chaperone go around with him because they didn't make him, you know what I mean? They didn't make him durable. What was that guy's name? Then he ended up covered in tattoos, and it was like you took the boy off the farm, and before you know it, he's hanging out with gangsters and prostitutes and doing cocaine and heroin and in porn movies and all this kind of shit. And then once you put him back around mom and dad, he's a church boy again. So now the only way to stop that is he has to have a chaperone. He's a grown ass man. He has to have a chaperone. Ah, you know who would know?
Calling Ted Biz Hicks.
What happened to my phone call? My eyes are burning. All right, he's obviously busy. Uh, I forgot his name. It was maybe it wasn't the Cardinals. Maybe it was What teams have white and red in their uniforms? Was it the Angels? Did he play for the Angels? Ah, you asked me. Now I'm going to go down a rabbit hole looking for this guy. Uh, he was suspended several times. Muted by bot. That might. I think that is, I think that's it. Let's see. Was it the Rangers? It might have been. I'm also thinking fish. Why am I thinking fish? Trout. Mike Trout? Is it Mike Trout? Maybe I'm getting them both mixed up. It can't be Mike Trout. Is it Mike Trout? Mike Trout? No, it's not him. This was a while ago. Now I'm looking up. See, this is what happens when you have uniforms. Yeah, man. Yeah, it wasn't Mike Trout. I've had fish in my head. Why do I have salmon? No. All right, I'm sorry. I can't remember. Hamilton went to the Angels. I remember he got several shots at it. He was suspended several times. How long ago was this? I hate to say it, but I don't see. Now I have to skim his Wikipedia. So there's a festival down by the beach, and I was like, it would be really nice to go down to the beach. I haven't been out of the house in 2 years, right? And then I was like, what time when? And he was like, 6. Oh my God, my eyes. He was like 6. I was like, ooh, 6. Ooh, I gotta do a show at 6:30. I never miss a Friday. I was like, so I was gonna come in at 4 and kind of like have a live kind of like bulletin where, hey guys, I won't be here tonight, blah 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 blah. Um, Josh Hamilton pleads guilty to. I think you're right. I think it might be Josh Hamilton. Yeah, it's sad when your heroes fall. But the whole point of it is that what you want to do is make durable people, right? I know they're lovely and cute and tiny and small, and you love them to pieces, but they won't always be that way, and the world won't treat them like you treat them. So you have to make them durable at every stage that they are growing, right? So make a fun and happy and durable 2-year-old, fun and happy and durable 10-year-old, fun and happy and durable. By the time they get 16, they're running on it by themselves, right? And by the time they're essentially 5, they're on autopilot, absorbing stuff. So you can make them absorb good shit like reading and books and educating and learning and figuring out problems, right? And make them durable. Or you can make them just used to sitting around and being, you know, special and having an opinion and not doing anything for anybody but themselves. Hence, what like the Pentagon said, we covered it a couple of days ago about the American, what did they call them, the Nintendo generation? How they're all squishy and they break easy in boot camp, and it's not a good thing. So, I mean, that tells me that kids, long before they went to boot camp, when they, I guess 18, 19, 20, whatever that is, they should have been doing more bike riding, more out in the sun, more running, more playing, more tree climbing and rock climbing, and just kids being kids in their neighborhood. But I get why a lot of people are paranoid that that can't happen. Some people are, what's the word I'm looking for? Some people are live in environments where you can't just go out, right? You can't. Hold on. So yeah, so you might want your kids to be out in the street playing around, but if it's a drug infested environment and they're gangsters and shooting up the joint, you would rather have them in the house. You would rather have them in the house uh, playing Nintendo rather than anything else. So I mean, it is what it is. Uh, but having said that, even people who should be out playing in the you know outdoors as children don't, because I don't want to sweat and the bugs outside and it's air conditioned in here and I've got Xbox and mom will make me waffles, and why should I go out there, right? Uh, and that eventually ends up being somebody who's 30 who's like, the only thing I've ever done is learn how to ride a bicycle. And and not a lot of people can do that. But you know what I mean? It's like, I would say a bike is one of the 25 things that kids should do, learn growing up. Not the only thing. And so it's that. We'll see where it gets us. Woo-doo. Good Lord, my guitar game is horrendous. Uh, so Amazon, let's talk music for a little bit. So Amazon, I'm trying to hate on Jeff Bezos, but Amazon is making musical instruments now. Um, and apparently they're not bad. I mean, granted, you can get better ones, the best ones for a lot, but as entry level stuff, like the guitar isn't bad. I haven't bought one, but I was like, oh wow, how cheap it is. Because I mean, there's some cosmetic anomalies with the guitars, but it's still a good and solid and playable guitar to learn on, right? Then you'll get good enough to get a really good guitar. I bought some pedals here from Amazon. Uh, three pedals. One's late, $60. One pedal will cost me $120, right? So that gets me into just knuckling around with the pedals and seeing what, right? And just like I said, to keep the playing of it interesting. But yeah, man, it's like they're making everything. They're making everything. I don't know what is going on with my PC. I really don't. Uh, so I was watching this guy. He was talking about how he's a guitar teacher. He was like, you should learn to play the piano because the notes on the piano are laid out much simpler, uh, and it's easier to wrap your head around it, and then you can come and like play because the guitar is look listen, like the more I need to cut. I need more light in here actually. Huh? I do need more light in here. So this note is the same as this note. Oh, wait a minute. Is this one? Yeah, it's this one. Sorry. Why do you need those two so close together? Why do you need more than one of them? Exact same pitch, just on a different string. But apparently, the way it works is if you want to dance around, it's easier to get to that same exact pitch here. Uh, where the normal space, which would be high versus going way up here and then coming all the way down. So yeah, there's multiple tones of the same tone on all the strings throughout. It's very bizarre. So you could play the whole thing in three segments of the guitar, which is weird. Uh, but that guy, I mean, he obviously so completely dialed in his learning. I still feel like I'm finding like out interesting things about music, and that's fun. That's what, but like that guy that we were talking about, where you just go play "Fly Me to the Moon," he'd go, "Oh, well, what is that?" Doesn't need the music, but he knows the song. He's heard the song in his life, and he can, you know, go, "Fly me to." That is, I don't even know what it would be, right? But he could call out the notes and the key, and the chord, and play it. I was watching like they were saying, when you practice, practice in the dark so your hand can move around. Practice in 15-minute increments. Practice really slow metronomes so you can slowly get there and sound the notes out properly before you begin playing at a regular rate. Said that, and then it said practice songs. Well, wait, what? Yeah, practice. What was it? What? It doesn't matter. Um, practice. Good lord, I'm a mess. All right. Anyway, I figured out practice slow and steady. Practice, 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 practice. Uh, yeah. These freaking $50, $20 looper pedals. It's amazing. Are we gonna talk through the news? Am I gonna talk to my nephew? Sure and sweet Friday snippets. That is what we're doing today. We might be here longer, but let's call him in the first place. That way I can settle in. Because I want to settle in, but if he doesn't, this is the thing. I am so New York sometimes. If you're going to cancel, just cancel so I can go do something else. But don't make me wait for you to cancel, right? But here in the South, it's more laid back. People are like, then I mean, it's not. I'm still too intense for the environment, and I need to learn how to calm down. And you know what I think I'm going to buy just as a symbol of me calming down? Overalls. Now I know what you're thinking. But yeah, overalls. I just wear those around like people wear pajama bottoms. That's a lot of people, and I use that to fiddle around uh, in this room. Overalls. Oh. I used to have a pair of overalls. I stopped wearing them because you tuck your shirt in, then your shirt comes out, which is weird. And those little cold things would dig into my shoulders, and they bothered me. But I got him to do art in to just get messy and be and not to like actually walk around in, and they were fun. Uh, but yeah, I'm not gonna get overalls. um, Now I'm sitting here thinking that I've been undone by overalls. Here's the thing, a project I was thinking about doing. I was thinking about getting a denim jacket, painting something on the back. I used to do some light art. I need projects to do in this streaming world. So there's a ton of stuff to do. But man, I got to tell you, I'm off to a really bad start. Let me text him, old man style. Uh, what is that young man's text message? What is? It's funny you should say that. Um, in the chat, uh, Wade wants to know if we ever called them dungarees. I grew up calling them dungarees, right? But I grew up calling fire hydrants Johnny pumps. No one calls them that anymore. And I grew up calling pancakes um, Johnny cakes, which I found out later is a sort of a different pancake. But Southern people coming north for the first time. I think we were like the first generation of northern kids in my family coming up from the Great Migration. Maybe the second generation, but yeah, call them dungarees. Uh, and my mom still calls. My sister mentioned this week, which I never noticed before until she said it. My mom calls ground beef chopped meat. Right? It's an old expression of ground beef for Southern people, right? Uh, but the British people call it mincemeat, which is an even older expression. Goes back to right. So for the cow manure dung, what? Um, Cow manure dung. I don't know why they call them dungarees. I mean, kids in the city, you put them on because they weren't church clothes, and you can run around and skin your knee. Remember those skin your knee days? When's the last time you skinned your knee? Right. That's something strictly for children and NFL players who then don't have any knees by the time they're 40. They walk like this because all they're doing is like, I mean, they used to at least wear knee pads. They don't even wear knee pads anymore. Ooh, they just toughen up the cartilage. Yes. It's hard. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to see, but by the time they're 30, this is why a lot of them get out. The good, like some of them get out, and make a lot of super big paydays, win the Super Bowl, get out at like 30, and try and become like sports announcers, which is where you want to be. You don't want to. You don't want to be like some of these guys who are just done. I remember a couple of things. I remember Lyle Alzado, right? He's supposed to be a tough. Was it Lyle Alzado? And he took steroids, and he was like this ginormous dude, and he ended up like wasting away. Like somebody had to hold him up. He was tall and super thin, right? And I remember like this. Like I think a lot of young people seeing that who want to be in sports were like, nah, I'm not. I'm not even trying to mess with steroids, right? Just like they tried to get people to quit smoking, I quit chewing tobacco, just like they tried to quit people to quit smoking in the 60s and 70s. And what they did was had all these old baseball players go talk to the new guys in the dugouts. And guys were like, I'm gonna lose my tongue. They were people who had their tongue removed, their lower jaw. So now people started chewing gum. So now there are almost no tobacco chewers in professional baseball, right? You have to send a message to the upcoming generation because the generation who still has it, still doing it, will hedge their people are still smoking, right? Will hedge their bets with it. Uh, yeah, John Matuzak. You throw out names, man, and I gotta look him up. Hold on, John Matuzak. Trying to text my was an American football defensive end in Triple League who later became an actor. Paducah was the first overall pick in the 70 NFL draft and played for most of his career with the Oakland Raiders until he retired after winning his second Super Bowl in 1981. Yeah, I remember him. Let's look him up. He retired in 1901 and died in 1989? How come there's no picture of him here? All right. As role of acute profoxphene. Okay. Hold it. Propoxyphene. Uh, PRO. Let's do this in foursies. PROPOXYPHENE. Hene, prop oxyphene, propoxyphene intoxication, an accidental overdose of, prescription drug Darvot, according to the finding of the Los Angeles coroner's office. He was 38. The report also said that good lord, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy and large heart and bronchial pneumonia had been contributing factors. So his lungs were bad, his heart was bad, and he had this prescription drugs like permeated his like lungs, I guess. There were also traces of cocaine found in his bloodstream. Yeah, that is not awesome. I thought he was the guy, Superboy, Android, Aaron's a Dirty Dozen, Hunter. I used to love Hunter. Hollywood Beat, The Fall Guy, The Dukes of Hazzard, Trapper John. All these shows. Wow, he died at 38. That is sad. Come on, guys. Don't do drugs, guys. Don't do drugs. Let's send him a message. I gotta call my mom too. Uh, okay. Do we even want to wander through the news today? I noticed Trump backtrack. Russia lays out siege to major cities. Russia lays siege to major cities as Ukraine seeks safe passage for civilians. This is so fucked up. This whole move is so fucked up. I don't even know what the I don't even know what the next. I mean, I know what his end goal is. What is our end goal? What is the next move? What if he's called your bluff? What are you gonna do? You're gonna lock them out economically, and I maintain that Russia has no right to hang out with the West economically. If you want to be a douchebag, nobody has to invite you to the party. You can't insist to be invited to this party, right? Ukraine homes in demand for the what? Ukraine homes in demand for the BNB. Look, I mean, nobody wants this but one guy, and this is what happens. I I think. Oh, breakfast in bed. I looked up this thing. Ukraine is always losing wars, right? This thing. What do they call it? Something history. It's a YouTube channel. Something history. Hold on, I'll tell you. Simple history. It's called Simple History. I like it. You don't gotta like it, but that's fine. And they had this thing about the Ukraine, right? And I was at this point, I'm sitting here thinking, if you can't defend your borders or stop from being overrun, maybe you shouldn't be a country anymore, right? I mean, there is an ebb and flow to this, right? Why is it always for the giant countries to keep smaller countries solvent? And I get not everybody can have a nuclear bomb, but I also get that the larger companies shouldn't be overrunning these little companies. So maybe you should do something about the large companies. If you do it, you are no longer a company that anybody will fuck with, right? But if you get big enough, you'll have all the resources of a wide area, so you won't care what anybody else does. I mean, this no matter how you look at it, this leads to war. It says the Ukrainians finally struck that giant convoy that was just sitting there for a week. I'm waiting for this distortion pedal from Amazon. It's making me crazy. It hasn't gotten here. It's been a week. I don't really know what to do with it about it. Uh, I don't know what to do about it. I might actually order a different pedal, but you know, a Coco distortion pedal, mayhaps. All right. My nephew has not gotten back to me, but that's fine. We did a pretty good job. We got half the pod in, which is about 45 minutes. Yeah, it's like 40 minutes, right? Two 40-minute segments is what we do here. So yeah, we got half of it. We got one 40-minute segment in, which is good. But I don't think he's gonna call me, so I don't think we're going to the beach, which is sad. But between me, you, and the wallpaper, I think I was kind of done not going to the beach. Um, See, this is that right there is old man itis, where you're like, yeah, man, I'll totally do that, and then all of a sudden you're just kind of like, I don't really go anywhere. That started happening with me like a while ago. Uh, I want to look at this. 5 hours ago, they struck this thing. Yeah. So, all right. Let's run through some light stuff before I get out of here, because I want to play video games, and I really, 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 really want to figure out this. You know what I'm saying? That needs to be figured out. Look, Russia has a giant. This is a show I'm talking about. Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher launched $30 million fundraiser to help her native Ukraine. How are you coming here and raising money for foreign places? Go live there. This is the thing I'm talking about. About like, the, meanwhile, you got real race problems here, and it look. Oh my God, I don't even know what to tell you, but you were warned about fifth columnists, and you were warned about uh, what did he call it? Not the electoral commission. What is it? What the when they're building military industrial complex, right? You're warned about all these things, and now you watch them all unfold. People are ridiculous. Everybody's all up in America doing whatever they want. Uh, the place doesn't make any sense anymore. So when you ask people to protect it, you need to tell me what we're protecting. What is the American way? People like pablum like that, like the American way. What is the American way? Because a lot of people are not happy in this system now that we're all stressed and put upon. But like the rich can raise $30 million for a foreign country to stay solvent. First of all, that's not going to do fucking thing. It's a foreign country. Second, why are you raising money for foreign countries? It's so wild. It's so wild. Um, I grew up in a very different America. Dorp, dorp, dorp. Uh, some stuff that's going on doesn't make any sense to me. Some stuff that the government doesn't fix also doesn't make any sense to me. especially in the modern era of the year 2022, right? You're still doing shit that was done in the 50s. And that's why, and it's got to just be for money. It's got to be for simple for money, simply for money. And I just don't see why you would expect anything other than absolute chaos from the population. If that's the way you know the system is run, can better posture lead to a better life? Uh, Everything on your TV is miserable. Everything's a crime drama, a murder drama, guns. Right? Superhero movies are essentially violent gunplay uh, operas. Right? It's just like you ingest so much violence and sex in your media, songs and whatever, that when it happens in real life, you're fine with it. But you ingest a sanitized version of this sex media thing that I'm talking about, right? Because sex is messy and violence is messy. But you get the Disney. What am I doing with this hood? You get the Disney sanitized version of it, so you romance it. But if you really saw like the ugliness of violence, you wouldn't want any part of it. Because everybody loves to glorify like violence, like they're the guy committing it. But what if you're the guy having it done to you, right? Now all of a sudden your violent dreams are what, a victimization fucking story now. What about Dancing with the Stars Max, who feels bad about leaving Ukraine to come back to United States? Yeah, right. You can go back there and fight it. They're telling you everybody between 14 and 60 can't leave the country, yet here you are feeling bad about it from your giant Hollywood mansion. Shut up. I tell you, those people are fake because look, they're very picky when they pick an issue. It's never gun control because they use guns and everything, right? And it's never racial justice because they always use someone as a villain. And what are you gonna say? So now, the way people are talking about racial justice and all this, it's always somebody's Hollywood job, right? Netflix has a section, Black History section, and it's just black people in movies. It's got nothing to do with Black history or anything. It's science fiction, it's romance, it's everything, but it had nothing to do with actual. And that's the con. What is this shit? They're just movies with black people in them. It's cynical, and the problem remains unfixed. And out of context, and I'm sorry, and out of context, an out of control rocket just slammed into the moon, astronomers say. Okay, we gotta look at this. Huh. The crash occurred on Friday morning, that's today, according to the calculation by astronomers, but Earthlings have nothing to worry about. An out of control rocket just slammed into the moon, astronomers say. Depiction of the moon in the moon with the rocket in his what? Depiction of the man, I'm sorry. Depiction of the man in the moon with a rocket in his eye from the 1914 silent animated film A Trip to the Moon, directed by George Méliès. An out of control rocket stage crashed into the lunar surface on Friday morning after hurtling through space, according to calculations made by astronomers. So they knew it was going to go there. The crash had been anticipated for over a month after Bill Cray, an author of space objects tracking software, sounded the alarm in a blog post. Initially, Gray suspected the space junk originated in 2015. Oh, this wasn't something that came off the ship that they let off, and it was gonna go and land over there. This was just something that was swinging around and just finally hit the moon. Oh, It's another thing I don't believe in dual citizenship. I think it's bullshit. Um, a group suspected a space junk originated in 2015 SpaceX mission, but updated his assessment to concluding that it was a Chinese rocket stage. China denied the accusation, but Gray stuck to his guns, and another team of researchers concurred with his findings. After obtaining a spectral reading of the object and comparing it to the rockets of SpaceX in Chinese origins, according to the team, the difference came down to space, the type of paint used by the Chinese Space Agency. Gray wrote in his original blog post that it would be the first time that a human made object has unintentionally hit the moon. Previously, NASA had sent junk intentionally down to the lunar surface for scientific purposes. Wow. The rocket slammed into the head-sprung crater on the dark side of the moon, meaning there is no way to immediately observe the impact. However, scientists are certain that the scientists are certain that it occurred. A reminder that there is no live tracking of impact rocket stages. Based on observation made weeks ago, we're confident that this will hit Pittsburgh's crater at 12:25 UTC, which is I guess Greenwich Mean Time, right? March 4th, because we trust Uncle Isaac successfully predicting the trajectory of things in space since 1687, tweeted Jonathan McDowell, an astronomer at Harvard Center for Astrophysics on Friday morning. In how long is this fucking article? Okay, three more paragraphs. We'll need to finish it. Hey, Pornhub. Ukrainian and Russian Pornhub performers protest the war. Let's read that. Uh, oh, nice. We've got the Pornhub logo in the Ukrainian flag. That's hysterical. I'm sorry. I would get that shirt. Ukrainian and Russian Pornhub performers protest the war. Ukrainians are posting videos of the Russian invasion to Pornhub, while Russians are using one of the last online spaces they have to speak against the war. In a video uploaded to Pornhub on Monday, Kiev sits in quiet darkness, few lights are out in apartment buildings across the landscape. Few lights are on, I'm sorry, across the landscape. While the camera pans across the city, Kate behind the scene breathes shallowly as the air raid sirens begin to blare in the distance. This is what I mean by people in my. So she lives in the Ukraine, but she makes money off this American website, which is primarily run from here. So she's got an American account while she's abroad making money through you know what I mean? It's sort of like, and then they can veto what the fucking government wants. Like it does. It just. I think someone needs to rein them all in. Yeah, Lindsey Graham is an idiot. Here's the thing: if I said Lindsey Graham is an idiot, someone should kill him, the cops will be at my door and cart me away. And Lindsey Graham would then say the cops did a perfectly good job for protecting my life because that guy's unstable, right? Everybody would agree with that. How can he then say that someone should go and kill somebody, right? It's the same message. The only difference is you want protection from what you just told people to do. Don't tell people to kill anybody, especially as a fucking politician, especially as a public figure, right? I mean, and Lindsey Graham is. And here's another thing about these guys. They're not world leaders. They're not even national leaders, quite frankly. They really aren't. They really aren't. They're leaders of their states if they're senators, and leaders of their districts if they're congressmen. And they those people have more power than presidents, and you can shut a president down, and he can't say for more than 4 years, but you can say for 50. This whole place doesn't make any sense. Is why nothing gets done. There's too many chiefs, right? What they've done, what they've essentially, like here in Virginia, the city council can essentially fire the mayor. So the mayor has really no power. The city council can fire the police commissioner, right? So it's like power split between this network of all boys network. You know what I mean? Kind of like weird sense of that's why does that work that way? One person should be in charge. That's our system. But states' rights allowed you to run these weird anomalies of right. So if more and more we're not one country, more and more we're just like an American version of fucking Europe. Um. Oh. Yeah, with the mask on. Pussy Riot. Pussy Riot. I want to say it was Pussy Riot. Yes, Pussy Riot. Uh, there was three of them. One of them was like, "Ooh, okay, hey, I renounce all of this. I'm going back to school," and the two others became, you know, synonymous with resisting the nonsense. Pussy Riot founder just raised 6 million. See, and that's what happened. People just started begin raising money. Like that Melania Youssef girl, she got shot in the head. She left Afghanistan. She lives in England. Now she's worth like $50 million. People still oppressed in Afghanistan. I'm just saying. Where does she live? I think she lives in Germany because she can't live in Russia. And now she's throwing around raising millions. How old is she? 20, 25, 27. Yeah, this is how they get you. You'll be really dedicated to a cause, and then they'll show up with money and tell you how, oh, you're the message and you're the duh, and then they will corrupt you with money before you know it. You got to know the tricks. You got to know the tricks, and it's either right. It's the carrot or the stick, right? It's the money or the bullet. Dr. King got the bullet. Jesse Jackson got the money. All right. But that is inside baseball Black History shit that I was taught as a kid growing up. Soulish open world domination procedural role like RPG. I can't buy any more games. I must literally have like 200 games that I have. Uh, I must have 200 games. Uh, I would say I haven't even touched 150 of them, and that's a shame. So no, I'm not buying any new games. Uh, I wonder what is up with my nephew. So I guess that's it. So do you porn? Do we even want to read the rest of this? So people who would normally film their porn stuff and upload to Pornhub in the Ukraine now aren't doing that because they're under siege, but they're showing the sites of war in the Ukraine. Even on Steam, my Steam account, they were offering this little war, a game where you play like someone trying to survive in a war zone. You have to scour food. Some dudes are gangs and will kill you and steal what you have, right? And they're also hiding from the soldiers, right? So it's this weird game of how do I keep my family alive? How do I stay alive in a war zone? How do I not get shot by either side? How do I not pick up arms? How do I then scavenge and survive against other scavengers? What is what is the name of it? It's called Our Little. It's not called Our Little War. Everybody's playing Elden Ring. All right. What is the name of this game? I bet if I typed in Ukraine, it would come up. Ukraine. Really? It didn't come up. All right. Uh, charity? This war of mine is called.
Hello.
It's a sort of grim. It's a grim game. Um, yeah, this war of mine. I can't even bother with it. I can't. I can't even. Um, yeah, pussy, right? The lead singer of that group was a fox. All right. So the sex performers in Kiev are showing war stuff, and the sex performers in Russia are using it to say that they disagree, and it's their only platform because the Russian government has began gun shutting down opposition on, like they shut down Facebook in Russia because people are like, oh, I'm not for this, I'm Russian, I'm not for this, and the people aren't click, shut it down. And now that's so let's just skim the story. Uh, in the video upload to Pornhub on Monday, Kiev sit in Monday. Ugh. In a video uploaded to Pornhub on Monday, comma, Kiev sits in quiet darkness. Kiev is the capital city. It's like saying Washington, D.C. Kiev sits in quiet darkness and few lights are on in the apartment buildings across the landscape, comma. While the camera pans across the city, period. Kate, comma, behind the camera breathes shallowly as the air raid sirens begin to blare in the distance. More lights blink on. People are waking up to the sound of the fifth day of the Russian full-scale invasion of the Ukraine. This week was the first time Kate, an adult performer, has ever heard air raid sirens in her life. Before Russia started bombing her city last week, Kate uploaded videos of herself and a partner having sex on that balcony overlooking Kiev, playing in the nightclub, playing in the nightclub restroom, and naked in the woods. Now she's hoping people see her video on Pornhub, hear the sirens, and remember that it could have happened to them. I never heard an air raid siren before. Look, Russia has been at not Russia. Europe has been perpetually at war since the fucking year 900. After World War II, there were incursions, right? The Bosnian Serbian War, right? And this is more of that. Uh, the Russian Revolution, right? They fell in the 80s. There was more of that. I mean, it was short lived, but people like they shot at each other. Then all these other places began to shoot at each other in the fall. Um, yeah, it's a you control these people because your foot is on their neck, and they don't want your foot on their neck anymore. It's what I said about the difference between America and Russia, on America and China, right, and its armies. If you invade America, we're gonna shoot at you. Um, but there's a good chance that if you invade like China, a lot of those people want a new government. Greeted as liberators, I don't know about that, but a lot of them might be like, this is our fucking chance to get rid of these people. But then, you know, it might be something in the water. People treat people badly, and then the new government will treat people just as badly, right? Like these governments in the Middle East. So the devil, I guess. Uh, I never heard an air raid siren in my. I never heard an in brackets air raid siren. So maybe she said I never heard the noise, the horn, the whatever, because I think she's likely speaking in English to someone. I never heard the air raid siren before. I never been in a bomb shelter. Kate told me in direct message. Oh, yeah, okay. I live in a city with over 3 million people. I want to go to restaurants, bars, theaters, cinemas. This is how many people live in Europe, America, Asia with this video. I want to say that even today, no one is immune from war. You ain't wrong, sister. Other than Ukraine are using Pornhub to get the word out about the situation. Mikhail Prado, a solo performer. What is a solo performer? Oh, solo performer. Solo performer. What is a solo performer? A solo performer, sometimes referred to as a one-man show or one-man show performer, single person telling a story for an audience. Okay, that's okay. Solo performer. That's what solo performer means regularly. I guess solo performers for the porn industry means you 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 don't have anybody else with you. You masturbate, I guess. Um, a solo performer. A video of a beating emoji heart in Ukraine yellow in blue colors with the title "Save Ukraine, No War, Stop Russia." No, I'm not safe right now. The airstrikes have been going on since morning, Prada told me. Russian fast is dropping a bomb on the school today. It's almost completely destroyed. It's horrible. I can't write anymore. Air raid alert. If I stay alive, I'll get in touch again. If I stay alive. Alongside videos from Ukrainian content creators, Russian porn performers also use their platform to protest Russian invasion. One Russian couple who makes videos for Pornhub and goes by the name bisexual bisex couple. I'm sorry, bisex couple family spoke out in a protest with a video statement, and 4 days ago, with a video statement 4 days ago, the couple which the couple which normally posts short points of view videos with titles like "Dank." Oh, okay, well, we're not going to say the title of that. Okay, okay, fully clothed and speak gravely about their opposition to war. Uh, oh, it's painting a contrast. They like to do this and they do it like that. And their last video was called "A Mouth Full of Gaggle, a Face Full of the Diddle Daddle Daddle." But now they're sitting next to me in their church clothes with a Bible and a cross. So, they're trying to paint your contrast. Uh, Side by side, fully clothed and speak gravely about the opposition to war, explaining that what they can't be porn stars and have an opposition to war. Uh, about the opposition to war, explaining that they are hurt and ashamed when they see what the Russian government is doing. In the eyes of the world, our country now looks like an aggressor through the fault of our authorities. The only thing we can do now is not be silent and express our opinion, they say in Russian. Now, what did I say a couple of days ago about levels of freedom of speech and how they couldn't do this 20 years ago in Russia, right? I mean, granted, there wouldn't have been a internet, but like you couldn't say without the KG, not 20 years ago. I'd have to say more like 40 years ago. Without the KGB coming to get you, they grew up in a different Europe. It's not even the East. Is it an Eastern Bloc? Yeah, I guess it is. But they're not they're the grandchildren of the communists. They want different shit. And Vladimir Putin is 50 years out of date, just like Joe Biden and Queen Elizabeth, right? The young the young people are just ridiculous. Like the king. What is the prime minister of North Korea, who's got to be in his mid 30s. He's gonna be there forever, unless we kill him for being a dill hole, and that's likely to happen. Um, yeah, I think this whole thing though has saved Taiwan. But hey, stranger shit has happened, right? It's very dangerous for Russians to speak out against Putin. In the last week, Russian authorities have arrested thousands of people for protesting, including 5 school children who police caught carrying anti-war protesters. With this video, I wanted to say that. Okay, that's a quote. Option for wow, this is a really fucking long article. This is a really long article. Wow. Yeah, we don't need to finish this. That's outrageous. But hey, it's the only way you can get your message out. Ship still quote unquote beautiful after 130 years at the bottom of Lake Superior. It's a graveyard. It didn't get out there by itself. There are souls connected to that boat. The Supreme Court reimposes the death sentence for the Boston Marathon bomber. Yeah, a convoy of truckers protesting COVID-19 measures is expected to arrive in the DC area this weekend. The feds is not going to let that shit go down. You are not going to clog DC. They need to be able to move the president at a notice. This is going to be an interesting thing to watch. We're going to watch this. We're going to keep an eye on that particular trucks going to Washington D.C. People are ridiculous. People, I think we live in the age of adults throwing fucking tantrums. They do this shit and it doesn't move the needle at all. It just pisses people off. And then someone gets to talk about it and write a book and get on like the talk show circuit. And maybe if they're good looking or smart enough, they get to hang around. And then maybe in 5 years they'll have a show. But nothing will change. Am I cynical? I'm likely cynical. McDonald's, Pepsi, others should consider pausing Russian operations. Hmm. All the former Eastern Bloc countries should have had a pact. But, I mean, I don't know if it's up to the West to make sure that Ukraine stays a country. If the Ukraine can't protect itself, right? I don't really know what to do. Even insurgents and insurrections, right? As the Russians are there, it's better than us saving it for you, leaving and giving you the, you know what I mean? You should really look up that simple history of the Ukraine. It really is a freaking. It's an amazing thing, and I always wonder why are some of these countries still countries? Why haven't they been washed over and changed? Like some places in Africa are nowhere near water, and they're a country. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. There's not even a river running through your land. Why are you a country? Right? That should be a prerequisite for giant land mass. If you don't have water running through your space, I don't know. A lake of some kind. I mean, they're just desert land and three trees in their country. They want to shoot at you if you come anywhere near them because somebody gets to be in charge. It's little fiefdoms. Too many fiefdoms. Too many Indians. I'm sorry. Too many chiefs. Not enough Indians. Is that what they say? Too many cooks. Spoil the broth. Is that what they say? All right. We've got 5 minutes. Wow, we did a whole show. We have five. We have 5 minutes. 7:39. I gotta tell you, as I got older, I remember the Pam Anderson Tom Lee tape. As I got older, I feel bad about it for her. I do. But at the same time, I think the society has moved so past it that you won't be expected to feel bad about any of this shit. Excuse me. You won't be expected to feel bad about any of this stuff, about any of this sex stuff, because it's. I think at this point, sex is so ubiquitously out the bottom, plastered on everything that they're trying to sell you, as well as, easily accessible online. Right? You used to have to go to a shady store and wear a trench coat and all that shit. Now you can just download it while you're waiting on you, your Hello Fresh delivery. Right. It's so everywhere all the time now. All manners of it. The the hint of it, like I said, like trying to sell you this in the store, pretty lady, fully clothed to pretty lady, scantily clad, to just out and outright sex, which is the what we just read, the pornography, the Pornhub, which is everywhere. Um, I don't think you can be like, you know, judgmental anymore about it, right? Just like uh everything else, society's changed. So now it is what it is. All right, that is it for me. I think I may take a cruise down to this beach and see what is up. Um, I, you know, I gotta tell you, I really gotta tell you. In New York, I get at you, and you get at me. I get back at you. Like we call, all right, done, good, fine, fine. All that, 15 minutes, 8 phone calls. We've got a point and a plan, and we're going someplace. Here, text message, make a phone call. Somebody get back to you in 90 minutes. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. This really is outrageous. All right, William. Have a good night. I will see you. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow at 6:30, where we will be streaming. I have to figure out a way to send out a bulletin. Maybe I'll send out a bulletin on my Karma Armor. My gaming account is Karma Armor, so maybe I'll send out bulletins there, because I'm not going to send out bulletins on my True Armor account, which might have to change too, because that's sort of more of a personal account than anything else. This whole thing is really complicated, and I sort of just backed into it. I'll be making adjustments as I see fit. Um, but we're gonna stream every day here on out, marching, marching. What is the line? Marching as we go, marching. Oh, I don't even know the line. All right. Anyway, that is it for us. We got 2 minutes. What just happened? A minute and a half. Put the blame on Maine, boys. Put the blame on Maine. I will see you in the next one. Ugh. And the next one is tomorrow, 6:30. Um, take care of yourself. We're not hearing a lot about the new variants, and they're talking about dropping mask mandates, which might be fine. But keep your eyes and your ears open, because the whole thing isn't over yet. And I think it might be a bit. This is the part of the movie where everybody thinks that the monster is dead, and then they go back to normal, and then like the monster jumps out of a closet, and like the whole thing starts all over again. That's this, right? Uh, and they'll be worse than the last 2 years, kind of nonsense. That's this. So you and I owe it to each other, owe it to our neighbors, owe it to our progeny and our ancestry to not get caught up with the bullshit, with the foolishness. Excuse me, the foolishness. We're gonna be cursing less. We want to do less of that. Uh, we got 55 seconds. Um, Yesterday was a long show, by the way. Right? We did the whole show, and then we did like an additional 40 minutes. All right. I want to again thank everybody for coming through. Wish me luck as I try and learn the guitar, and I wish you luck as you try and do that good and helpful and hopeful thing that you're trying to do. I hope you're trying to do something. Looking at you, William. Cooking, building, dancing, jogging, running, juggling, reading X amount of books a year. That's a goal, right? What about goals? I mean, it doesn't have to cost you a lot of money. Do have some fun. Once you get into the habit of the goal, it builds on itself, and then you get happy that you have a chain of XYZ going. Um, Timing is everything. All right, I, your homie, this desk is kind of falling backwards. I don't know what is. I got it. I don't even know. I can't. I'm not buying another table. God's sakes, this whole thing's a mess. What am I even doing? What you know what I'm doing? I'm streaming every day. That's what I'm doing. At 6:30, we have to figure out this Twitch thing so we can get the gaming going, because I just got a uh, hit and my homie's like, "Hey y'all, you want to play some what's the name of this game? Lost Ark, which is the rage that all the kids are playing. So I might hop in that. But I'm trying to play. Look, there's three games. I want a game where I can go hop in and shoot them up. I got a couple of those, a lot of first-person shooters. But I'm on a narrative game where I can build a character and build like in the world, like a name and a reputation and levels and go all. You know what I mean? And solve the game and have some fun. But when I'm tired of doing that and I can't be bothered to figure it out, I want to have a backup game, which is sort of like that but less intense. And I have tons of those. But man, I got to tell you, trying to figure out what game and where to start, it's not easy. I really need to stop. I need to jump in more. I get that, but at the same time, uh, you fight against type, right? But at the same time, type is type. Uh, so we'll figure something out. But I'm saying this because it's still in my head, and what I'm not doing is stressing over the implementation anymore. I know it's going to happen. I know we're doing it. I'm not going to say Friday, Friday, Monday, Monday, but I will be still be talking quarters. And man, this first quarter, oh, if I was the CEO, my ass would be fired. We've got to get it jumping before the next quarter begins, which is April 1st, right? Yeah, 3 months. So yeah, it's April 1st, April, May, June. That's the second quarter. All right. Second quarter coincides with me playing guitar for a year. I should have something planned for that. Oh my God! Don't even get me started. All right. First of all, we have to fix this thing, and we will fix this thing. Um, we will search these goals. We will hit these markers. We may be a little bit late, but we will hit these markers. Um, we'll take it tongue in cheek and laugh at our failures, but we won't be so flippant that we won't get it done. We're getting it done. But man, this year is just kicking my ass. Whew. And I have a wedding to go to next month, which is another. I have to buy a suit now. How much is how much does a suit cost? Oh no, I'm an old man. Oh boy. All right, I guess I can't wear old man style like hat, um, overalls, boots, button up shirt with a bow tie, and a blazer over it. Yeah, I've seen that in like far too many Southern movies. I'm thinking of Doc Holliday with Michael J. Fox, where he wants to be a Beverly Hills doctor, and he crashes in this small town. And he's got to take care of this pig, and it's him. I think I want to say Gabrielle Anwar or another one of these lovely young Hollywood actresses of the mid '80s to mid '90s. Um, and their doctor or town mayor, whatever magistrate was, he had like overalls, he had like a coat on, and he had like not a coat, he had like a blazer on, and he had like a tie on. So I'm sitting here going, this outfit is just genius. All right, so anyway, that's where we're going. We're getting our southern bluesy rhythm and bluesy swag on, and we're openly admitting that this first quarter is just a freaking shit show. It really has been a shit show. And I got to do taxes. Yeah. You know what? we're gonna we're gonna eat this month. We're gonna try and make sure that we're up and running on the first of next month. When is the first? Not on April 1st, because April 1st is April Fool's Day, which is Friday. April Fool's Day is exactly 3 weeks from well, not 4 weeks from today. 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks from today. April 2nd is Saturday. The 4th is a Monday. We should start at the first because we're not superstitious. And if it is, we can turn superstitious around to our favor, right? For good Lord. We'll figure it out. We will figure this thing out. Uh, Good Lord. All right. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Next one's tomorrow. Please come on through. Have a good Friday and for a good rest of your Friday. And if I don't see you tomorrow, have a good Saturday. Have a good weekend if I don't see you this weekend. Peace.